Stay awake on the Rise News. Time for the press preview. A first look at what's on the front pages, and we begin with this day. And it's leading with the elections 2023 polls that the people's will must prevail, and that's according to the National Security Advisor. Buhari says Nigeria is ready to reap from the EFCC benefits. That's the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. And UN says that conflict, economic slowdown, hampering Nigeria's target of ending hunger and malnutrition.
The Punch newspaper this morning, leading headline: federal allocations, all producing states borrow 1.3 trillion naira amid 6.4 trillion naira windfall. Some rivals there, Pandef. Others asked Niger Delta governors to showcase development projects. Meanwhile, Minister says all producing states received 1.9 trillion naira as derivation fund under the Buhari administration. If you're wondering what that leading photo there is, queues of vehicles at the NNPC filling station along the Shagamu-Abeokuta road in Ogun State yesterday. One more headline from the Punch just above the nameplate: stop using thugs, NSA warns governors. That's in relation to the upcoming 2023 elections.
The Nation newspaper: the federal government says it's supported states with more than 5 trillion naira in 7 years. And the governors are misusing local council funds. This is President Buhari speaking. And the court orders arrest of Chief of Army Staff and Commandant.
Let's take a look at the leadership this morning. Ahead of 2023 elections, security agencies put governors, politicians on watch list. NSA warns against using thugs to disrupt opposition campaigns. Says elections will hold as planned next year. Dati Baba Ahmed wants Aisha Buhari's critic Aminu released. Meanwhile, Qatar 2022, Germany, Belgium out, Japan, Spain, Morocco, Croatia advance to last 16.
International papers now. Financial Times: Blackstone caps outflows from $125 billion property fund. And in the US, Biden hails Macron's solidarity but opens way for talks with Putin on ending war.
The Guardian UK this morning: NHS union chiefs meet to plan joint Christmas strike. And that photo there: game changers, referees make history in Qatar, the first all-female referee team to officiate at a men's World Cup match.
The Eye: Royal Mail's parcel mountain revealed with warning on the Christmas post.
And for the press preview, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello, who joins us now. Emmanuel, good morning. Thanks for being here. As usual, let's take a look at what's making the top headline on this day, our sister publication. Focusing on the 2023 polls yet again, just 85 days to the elections. The people's will must prevail. This is coming from the National Security Advisor, who has been reiterating this point. He says, let the people choose. And he also called back those elections that were had in Anambra, Osun, Ekiti. And he says, what happened in those states is what we want to happen at the general elections next year, Emmanuel.
Well, good morning. Yes, it's a beautiful call by the NSA, and keeping with what the president said he's going to bow out with, which is going to bow out with credible elections. This president is making good his threat, if we call it a threat, that he's going to have, he's one of the leaders is going to leave behind his credible election. And I think Nigerians will be ready to forgive President Buhari if he can just actually deliver on this particular promise, ensure a transparent election, a level playing field, and it's talking tough already. The NSA actually going further, saying that there might even be, people might be on watch list, like one paper is reporting it. Politicians are going to be on the, on the watch list, and they are going to beam their searchlights on, especially in states where you have opposition governors. For instance, in a state where the ruling government trying to stop opposition politicians from campaigning by dealing with them. And you know, the case of Wike comes to mind immediately, where he keeps Governor Wike of Rivers, who continuously, you know, says that he will see how anybody will come and campaign for any other party in the state. He said that in the past, and there have been cases of, you know, billboards being pulled down of the opposition. So those are the sort of thing that the NSA was talking about in this story, and I think it's a very important story, and it's shared in many of the other dailies actually led with it. That let us have let the people will prevail. Let us have transparent election. Let people not be bogged down by the crisis of what they call the almighty power of incumbency, or the power of federal might. It cuts both ways. In the past too, people have actually weighed on what they call the federal might, the power of the you know, of the presidency to help a surrogate get into government. So all that is contained in what the NSA is saying that they are going to watch it. So I think we should fact check on that, stay on it, ensure that it cut both ways, that the federal might is not used, governors are not using undue or unnecessary kind of exerting their will on the people, and that because this is technology too, people can actually file out and vote who they want. The society will be far better. It will be a better country if the people's will prevail, so that anyone that comes out of any kind of election, you will know that this is the people talking. It makes for better governance. It also makes for better leadership. When you are an imposed person on the people, you start on the wrong foot immediately, because you are compromising already. You are in imposition. You know the people don't want you. There are governors today who know clearly that they are detached from their people, and that they didn't come from, maybe courts pronounce them as governors, or they didn't come from the people. But it's always a good feeling to know that, well, you were the popular person, you were chosen by the people, and they wanted you to govern them. It makes easy the governance, and that's what this president is saying, talking tough and saying, look, he's going to ensure that we have those kind of elections.
Well, the president is doubling down on the comments he made earlier about the governors contributing to poverty in their states. In the Punch, he's saying that the governors are stealing local government funds. And, well, the governors are saying, but we've been doing our best.
Well, yeah, it's the back and forth that we've been looking at. And the opinions have differ on this. Some people are saying that the president is just passing the buck, while others are saying that, well, he's saying what everybody has known all along, that the governors are actually part of the problem. There are people who say that governors are actually the problems of this country, in the sense that the kind of power governors wield at the state level, taking away everything from the local government chairman. If you go to most of these states, the local governments are nothing but the chairman are nothing but just aides who actually stay in the state capital. They are not actually in the local government. And like the president was narrating, he said it's a personal experience. I mean, it's a known thing. I don't know why he's so jolted by that governors have not actually been allowing local government to have all their monies. And so you have over 700 local governments not being viable. It's difficult to find a local government that is really, really viable, because the chairman is compromised from the start. He gets their appointment or their election is compromised. They are handpicked by the governor. They don't come out through any credible kind of selection process. They are handpicked, and then when they get to these states, they are practically at the whims and caprices of the governors. That's what the president is saying. Of course, some people have actually questioned this since yesterday, that, okay, fine, the buck stop at your table, you are the commander-in-chief, you have got all the constitutional powers to do something about it. Why are you complaining right now? We're yet to also hear from the governors forum, who are supposed to respond to what now looks clearly like accusation, back to back. It started with the minister who said that, look, blame the governors, and then of course the president himself now weighing on it, doubling down on it, kind of like, as you say, saying that, look, it is the fault of the governors. So some critics are saying that it is APC or the President Buhari way of shifting blames, and because he's been accused and criticized for failing, and he's saying, look, well, it wasn't me, it's the governors. We gave them everything. We gave them all the monies. They were supposed to develop their state, but they were using those monies for other things. They were not allowing the local government to function well. So he's shifting the blame, and there are people who are not down with that. They are saying, look, no, you still you still have something to answer. You still have to answer to the charge that you didn't do well in government. But again, yes, there are those who say that yes, the governors did not really help this president in translating many of those things he wanted to do in these last 7 years.
Emmanuel Bello, let's talk about the EFCC, the Economic Financial Crimes Commission. They're touting their achievements for 2022. The boss says the commission has recorded over 3,400 convictions just this year alone. And this comes as himself, the chairman, has been committed for contempt of court. What are your thoughts on the EFCC's records for this year?
Yeah, we saw the figures. I mean, it either tells you that how endemic the problem is, or you want to praise the EFCC for doing those convictions. Over 3,000 of them. That's a lot. And but we still see the problem. The problem is there. Yeah, I think it's the magnitude of the problem. I think those figures those statistics just tell you that the fight against corruption is such a huge one and that it is serious. The figures are there to tell you that those convictions tell you that it's a lot of work to do, and that even at those numbers, there's a real long way to go, and that at least we're seeing some kind of result. And you're right. Yes, he's also in the news for being committed to prison for contempt. So it cut both ways. Again, that these laws are no respecters of persons, and that we should be able to obey the court orders, because in itself, disobedience to court order is some form of corruption. And it's not just the EFCC chairman that had that problem with him of being committed to court. The EFCC explains clearly that look, they don't have a case in this matter, and that they forbade the necessary injunctions that they should obey. But he's also using the opportunity to say, look, we've done this, we've done that, and like I say, it's either an indication of how deep the problem is, or also a clear testimony to the hard work of the EFCC chairman, which is really tying it down to figures. And that's what we need to be seeing. We need to be seeing statistics that clearly translate into real life situation, real conviction, people going behind bars, paying for what they've done. Yesterday, too, a long-serving governorship candidate of a party was convicted and thrown to jail for 72 years. He has appealed it in Akwa Ibom State. So it is those kind of high-profile cases that tells you that yes, the EFCC is alive and it's working.
Grateful for your insight this morning, Emmanuel. We love to hear what you have to say. Follow us on Twitter @AriseTV. You can tweet with the hashtag AriseDaily.